Let me show you one of the things that you hear, or actually don't hear, when you start the engine in the Land Rover Discovery. So no sound of an engine starter because, of course, this is a 48-volt mild hybrid system. There is no conventional engine starter, and that's one of the things that we're going to learn about in this video. The Land Rover Discovery is largely defined by a driving experience that's dialed in to make miles of highways, back roads, and trails disappear with as little disturbance, feedback, or interruption from the outside world as possible. Still, this is a machine with driving comfort and not reflexes in top position on its scorecard, right alongside high above average luxury SUV off-road capabilities. It's a velvety smooth highway ride with well-controlled noise levels, leaving little more than the odd lick of tire noise or a muted solid clomp from the suspension over highway expansion joints or potholes. It's a comfortable ride, right down to the audible feedback from the road surface beneath. Road and tire noise is nicely managed, and changes to road surface texture usually had less of an effect on cabin noise levels than I expected. The shocks can even suck up bumps and dips, neutralizing unwanted body motions in real time over highways and back roads, with a central nervous system actively controlling 4 individual dampers on a continual basis. The Discovery's ride feels custom controlled to neutralize virtually every bump in the road just right. So this adaptive suspension is soft and pillowy but never bouncy. Unwanted body motions and rebound are largely neutralized before they occur, giving you a hovercraft-like ride that sees the body and occupants within at rest much more of the time. So come for the comfort and stay for the engine, an Ingenium Series straight 6 that runs a hybrid electric boost, turbocharger, and 48-volt hybrid-fired electric supercharger. With the orchestrated efforts of the engine and its entourage of power adders, drivers get 355 horsepower, along with impressive low-rev throttle response, and all with a reasonable fuel bill thanks to the latest electric hybrid tech. Torque-rich power is deployed across a big fat span of its rev range, with the hybrid electric system boosting low-rev throttle response before the gas-fired turbocharger sees the straight 6 to redline. So this engine is rich with torque and very quiet. That 48-volt hybrid system also enhances the effectiveness and smoothness of the auto-stop system significantly. End of the day, I think light-footed drivers will really love this setup. In most driving, there's no need to break 2,000 revs and plenty of power down low where the engine is its most efficient. Engine sounds are highly muted across most of the rev range, with about 3,000 revs or more required to get any audible feedback from under the hood. Even opened up, the sound effects are a mere distant hum as power piles on in the upper half of the available revs. So the engine adds to the comfortable experience, though for the money, shoppers after something more lively, spirited, and responsive do have other options to consider. Elsewhere on driving dynamics, steering is heavy and solid in your hands but lacks the precision response that some drivers prefer. Same goes for the throttle. You'll need to give it a mighty shove to get that straight 6 to wake up without pre-engaging sport mode. So mostly the Discovery likes to keep its revs low and its sounds out of the cabin. Even the gear shifts seem calibrated to be smooth and careful, that is, uneventful. The main driver controls, throttle, steering, and brakes make it easy to drive this machine smoothly, though it is far from the most spirited or energizing drive available for the money. Plenty of winding 2-lane highways carve through moose country in my part of northern Ontario, typically flanked by narrow shoulders. In these settings, I found the Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit Reserve easier to place within its lane and more stable in motion. The Jeep is sharper at the controls, in a word. Sportier drivers should steer their attention towards a comparably equipped Grand Cherokee like this one. The Hemi V8 engine provides a more pleasing performance experience, and the handling and steering are much more precise between the pair. On off-road driving, the Discovery has hardware and electronics to power years of adventure. On my usual off-road testing circuit of moderately muddy ruts with some rocky trails, slippery climbs, and steep descents, it performed with confidence to spare in its fully automatic setting on factory tires, with no traction adders or special drive modes engaged. So for light to moderate off-road duty, the fully automatic setting calls the shots expertly. Drivers will hardly even notice a slipping wheel when the going gets challenging. Traction control corrections are soft and quiet, and in all there's a smug satisfaction in just applying steady throttle and feeling the electronics extract grip from the terrain beneath as you float along on top of all of the hardware. If you need more capability for serious adventures, a menu of drive modes and traction enhancements, complete with additional on-screen tips and information, are available at a button press. The Discovery's suspension can also be lifted up for maximum clearance in a matter of seconds, too. Still, on rocky trails and badly beaten back roads, the Discovery's suspension can generate the odd whack or clunk that's par for the course in SUVs like this one. Certain road surfaces can spike noise and feedback levels in here as well. In all but the most severe settings I drove it in, I found my tester to feel nicely calibrated to deliver consistent comfort and help drivers cover rough ground quickly and peacefully. On rougher back road surfaces, you're pretty nicely covered too. Elsewhere on board, my tester's interior used just two main colors, black and metal. There's a big glossy touch screen in the middle, two aluminum slashes to visually break the interior into 3 forward segments, and all of about 4 buttons on the forward dash. Like the exterior, signature styling elements carry plenty of brand identity through the cabin, but without shouting at you. Premium materials and touches are applied in abundance, and finer details are nicely executed and easy to find should your eyeballs or fingertips go in for a close-up. But while driving, I like how the clean and calm forward dash and cluster design seem to fade into the background while you focus on the road and scenery out the great big windows from your commanding and upright driving position. At night, that same forward dash is blissfully free of excessive lighting and reflections, meaning that mostly it's just you, the road ahead, and the far-reaching, bright white flood of illumination from the LED projectors. Split tailgates, we've got the upper tailgate here, we've got this panel here that sometimes opens with the tailgate, sometimes actually just requires you to push that button right there, slides down out of the way. This will support 600 pounds. This could be sort of a workstation surface, tailgate seating, and so on. We come on over here, power port. Hooks for your groceries or your gear. These are the controls to fold the rear seats up and down. We'll be showing you that in a bit. And these 2 buttons right here actually allow you to work the air suspension. So if we're loading in a dog, something heavy, or anything where we want the rear of the vehicle to be lowered, and if I want, I can press this again and lift it right up. A little idea for you of how much storage you've got behind that 3rd row. And of course you can just push the button there to make those seats disappear if you don't need them. So 2 final things to mention for prospective shoppers. First, the Discovery's turning circle is smaller than you think. That makes this big SUV feel fairly agile for its size in parking situations. The camera system helps here too. And second, a powerful washer system uses 3 spray jets to bathe the windshield with fluid, and 2 more to clean the headlights. Pull that wand and the Discovery practically gives itself a bath. And if you're considering the Land Rover Discovery or a top-shelf Jeep Grand Cherokee, make sure to drive both. Depending on your desired mix of comfort, reflexes, and performance, these 2 machines are some of the best on the road today. The Discovery's quieter-looking cabin and soft-on-its-feet ride were favorites of mine, though from a test drive of the Grand Cherokee in virtually identical situations, I found the steering and handling response are some of the best in a luxury SUV today, and to me that's where these 2 machines are the furthest apart. Comfort-first shoppers looking for a ride that's usually soothing will likely find the Discovery a little more appealing, though a similarly decked-out Grand Cherokee has a road feel that might just win over enthusiast drivers trying to choose between one or the other. It's a nice choice to have to make.
If you consider Motoring TV's been on the air for 30+ years, there's no doubt you've missed a few episodes. Well, there's a couple of ways you can catch up and make sure you don't miss anything. First, you can go to YouTube and look up just segments or complete shows. Also, if you want to know what we're doing, like today on a daily basis, just go to our Facebook page. And also, you can go to motoringtvshop.com, get some cool swag. Oh, there's also that Instagram thing.